Hello, Jen here, and I have a layout for you for the Wild Whisper design team. I just showed you there my inspiration piece for the design of my layout. I'm using that image. It's kind of like a pin board with a whole bunch of just different random elements pinned to it, and I'm using that from the Secret Not Secret Kit Club scrap party. Christina used that for one of the challenges to somehow inspire a layout, and for me it just really inspired the idea of using the full 12 by 12 paper as my layout, not having just one little cluster or anything like that, but just spreading everything across the entire layout. And that was a great opportunity for me to also have multiple photos in my layout, which you guys know I can struggle with sometimes. I'm getting better. So when I was going through my pictures, I found these cute pictures of my niece Harper from her birthday last year. They always come to our house for a birthday party because Auntie makes cakes and they love cakes. So Harper helped me make her birthday cake last year. It kind of had these cute little unicorns all around it, and I thought this was just perfect to use the Sassy Since Birth collection, because let me tell you, this little girl is super sweet and super sassy. She is Kaylin's mini-me. She's the youngest grandchild and Kaylin is the oldest grandchild, and they are so identical to each other. It's kind of cool, but also for me personally, it just always reminds me of when Kaylin was little, and I miss that so much. But the Sassy Since Birth collection is perfect for this, and because her cake is pink, I kind of wanted to go with a really super pink theme, so I picked that background paper. It might be hard to see because I've covered up so much of it, but it's actually little hexagons, and they're kind of like sketchy lines to fill them in, so you can see that they're hexagons, but they can kind of just read as one big pattern as well. So that is my background paper, and then I took my photos. I have them printed smaller because my intention was to do Project Life for 2019, and I just haven't got to it yet. I haven't started. So this was they were the right photos for me to do something like this because I could cut them apart and kind of move them around the page. And I didn't want it to turn out too grid-like. I definitely want it to have a little bit of a sort of haphazard feeling like that pin board did, or like you would if you have a bulletin board or something like that at home, and you just kind of are randomly pinning things or sticking things to that board. So, things do kind of fit together nicely, but they aren't necessarily all lined up perfectly even because everything is a different shape and a different size. So you'll see me kind of fussing around a lot if it starts to feel like it's getting too uniform and too grid-like, too lined up, then I'll kind of fuss around a little bit. So once I pulled out my pictures and cut them up, then I went through the cards, the Sassy Since Birth cards, and I pulled out 2 of them to map behind my photos just to help them kind of stand up a little bit from that background and just be a little bit different from the rest of the photos. And then I also pulled out that kind of purpley pink card up at the top, and it has the hexagons going down the side. I thought that was just a really fun way to bring in a couple extra colors. And then when I put that one kind of jumping girl onto it, I actually thought that looked really cool. So I put all 3 of them there, and it's kind of like they're cheering for Harper for her birthday. I thought that was kind of cute. And again, it brings just a different element, something that looks a little bit different. It brings in some bold black because some of my pictures are a little bit dark, and so it's nice to just have those darker elements to kind of help make those pictures feel like they're supposed to be there. And I don't end up using 2 of the pictures, which that's totally fine. They can go into the Project Life album when I get around to actually getting that started. So that's totally fine. I think I end up getting 6 pictures. Yeah, 6 pictures. That's pretty good for me. So once I had the cards down, then I went into the ephemera pack and I pulled out a few little elements from the ephemera pack. I cut out a little quote from the cut apart sheet from the 12 by 12 paper, and then I kind of put all of that together, and then I went into some of my other stash just to fill in even more of those gaps. So I have those wood veneer hearts. I thought that those were kind of just a nice plain element so that your eye can kind of rest in some of those busier spots. And also I'm trying to spread a couple of elements in threes. So the color yellow, I'm kind of trying to spread that in threes, and then the hearts and that kind of stuff too. Just because I think it makes the layout feel a little bit more organized, if that makes sense. So I pulled out those wood veneer. I used a bunch of stickers from that sticker sheet. That's the Pink Paisley Wild Child collection, and it kind of has some of those pinks and purples, and I just have a couple little elements that have extra colors in them. Not too many, but I do have that card up at the top, so I thought I could add a few more. And they have some cute little sayings on them, like beautiful you and stuff like that. I am going through my ephemera, my other Wild Whisper ephemera right here, and I found that my Happy Place flare that comes from the Happy Place, or the No Place Like Home collection. So there is my kind of my third element of yellow, and I think that's the only extra thing I pulled out from a different collection, from a different Wild Whisper collection. And then I went into this sticker book, which is the Chamel Glitter Girl sticker book, and it had lots of pink, and it had unicorns, which that ends up being perfect because her cake is a unicorn cake. So I have a pink kind of shimmery unicorn, and I have more of a cartoony unicorn, and then I have a little purple sticker, and some of the stickers are cardstock and some of them are more of that glossy kind of see-through. So it brings a lot of interest and a lot of different textures into the layout. That little unicorn there is kind of shimmery, and it was fading too much into the background. So I'm trying to figure out what I can use to kind of matte it, or if there's another element that I can stick it to help it to stand out a little bit more. And then I found those white stars as I was flipping through, so I added those in 3 different places. And here we go. This is just a sticker tag that is a nice pink color, so I'm going to stick the unicorn onto there, and now it kind of gives me another shape and a different style of element to add to my pin board. So I think this is kind of the basic design that I have here. Nothing changes too much, I don't think. I'm adding just a few of these little words, but where I have them, I end up moving them. So you can see here, I moved them all under that Sassy Since Birth little banner. And everything's glued down now. So, and I added my sequins. When my battery died, I decided to go ahead and add my sequins. And then that way I didn't have to edit it out of the video, because I usually try to speed that up or just edit it out so you guys don't have to sit there watching me stick little tiny sequins all around the page. So in some of the spots where there were still kind of a funny gap, like right above that tag with the unicorn, I added a whole bunch of sequins, and then in other spots I just added a couple just to kind of spread them around the page. And the last thing here I'm going to add is the title. I'm just going to make it really simple. Happy Birthday, Harper. These letters come from that same Chamel sticker book, so they match all the elements really well. And the other thing I did off camera too was I just went around the edges of the wood veneer hearts. Everything has kind of a white finish to it and white lines to it, so I wanted to have some of the elements inside the pin board also have that. So I thought that the wood veneer would work really well. And the chalk marker that I use actually worked pretty good on them. It soaks up a little bit because it's wood veneer, but I went around it a second time after they dried. And even here on camera, you can see that white line. So I think that worked out pretty good. And then I did the same thing around the card, the title card, I guess you could call it, up at the top. And then all the way around the outside too. And there I just showed you the Spiegelmom Scraps sequins that I used. They have these super cute little pink, hot pink flowers, so they add a lot of texture and they're just really fun and girly, so I thought those worked out really well. And that is it for my layout. This was so much fun to put together, and it's so cute and girly and pink, and I just love it. If you have any questions, you can leave them for me down below, and check out the links to the Wild Whisper store. You can actually get 10% off your next purchase if you use my discount code DTGen at checkout. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Until next time, stay safe and happy scrapping. Bye!